Well, we should get to the cart then and get going.
So you guys get to there. Zack kind of just, again, kind of fills you in a little bit on last-minute information that Gadwin and the crew kind of gave him, which was more in regards to the Mirage Spire. And he said, as you guys get into the cart, you're traveling now. And he says,
well, I will before we leave, since I haven't really been up this far before.
Mm-hmm.
I will actually see about buying a paper map if possible.
Okay. Yeah. There's maps for 5 gold that covers a pretty good margin of area.
Okay, so I'll kind of be going over the map as we go, and I'll be like, looks like the path up to Dragonwatch is pretty straight, but if we take the marked road, it's a little more roundabout, so we have a choice. We can either follow the road north past a few towns and then veer either east or west a little, or we can follow the road to that same point and then just kind of cut through the wilderness directly north into a little looks like a little farming village. That would take it's gonna, even with the carriage, it's gonna be 2 or 3 days. It would probably add a 4th day if we took the indirect route.
And Zack kind of just looks over at you guys and he says, well, I'm down for whatever the fastest way is, honestly. He's like, I just kind of want to figure out whatever's wrong with me, but more importantly, we need to get to that tower before, that's the most likely spot Lloyd's headed. We need to get there as fast as possible.
I agree. So I suggest, unless we I don't know, notice something particularly dangerous happening, I've got my good berries, I've got my decanter of water. We can ride straight through those first 3 towns. We don't even have to stop. We can well, occasionally I guess the horses will have to sleep, but I can feed even them with the good berries. If we ride for as long as possible and take shifts, I think we could probably get to Dragonwatch in 2 days.
Zack was very confident, and I'd say we do that. They kind of looked over at Dowroc. What do you think?
Seems good to me.
Alright, so unless you have something planned to happen on the road.
Currently nothing. So.
The 3 towns that we come through are Middlemore, which is a town that sits at the edge of the Westwood, and they have kind of a tree farm there where they provide quality woodworking for the other towns in the area. That's really their whole thing. And there's Midmeadow, which is one of the towns where they recruit most of the guards for the entire county.
Oh.
They have a pretty good sized guards keep in the town. And then there's Low Peak, which sits between some relatively steep hills. They mostly subsist on trade with other towns in the area. They're all pretty small. All 3 of them are pretty small.
We have temples.
Sure.
Johan will do his thing.
Okay.
I'll do my thing. Drop off coins at each one.
But
Ching,
we could definitely get through all 3 of them riding at a brisk pace in a day, and then we could let the horses rest at Low Peak, and then set off again the next day across. There's it's kind of a hilly region. We'd have to like serpentine a little bit between the hills to conserve energy, because going up it's tiring. But the only thing of note in that section is what's called Rib Hill. It's some old ruins that look like they could be stone, but they're in the they're long. They worm across a few hilltops, and they look like a very large, very long rib cage poking out of the ground.
Ooh.
So I don't know if you want to do anything with any of that.
Well, I mean, we're on our main mission at the moment, so we are heading. Unless anybody wants to stop at these places.
I'll at the very least, I recommend that we kind of stay away from the weird ruins if possible, because something might be held up there. Kind of ride a good distance to either side of them, but I don't particularly want to stop.
Okay.
For all I know, there could be like monsters taking up residence there or something.
Well, Zack's like, I agree. We don't really need to do another incident at the moment. We don't really have time.
Dowroc will do a history check on the way by. See if he's recognized these as a landmark or anything like that.
Okay.
So from a world building perspective, if he uses his stone cutting on them, he will notice that they are not made of stone.
Ooh.
Well, we got a 15. I'm using stone cutting. So.
From his point of view, they look very much more like they would have come from a creature than from anything constructed.
Ooh.
I relay this to them.
Yeah, this is really.
It's not an obvious fact for them.
Yeah, this is really just flavor at this point. But if we ever want to do anything like with this later, that would be this is our excuse to do it.
It's level 10. Level 10 and above.
Yeah. It says we can't open it. Why can't we open it?
Because you'll die.
It says DLC right here. What does that mean?
level not high enough? I don't know why.
I don't get what that means.
Level cap not high enough? I don't know.
A window box that says, "Are you sure you want to do this? You are not at the recommended level." I guess we'll turn around.
All right. So depending on how east we venture as we're cutting through this area, we might see Goldwater, which is another relatively small town. It's on a river. It started out as a gold panning town, but now it's just a fishing village. It's like Lake Town, but smaller.
Okay.
They would have a merchants guild because they do a lot of trading with the towns north and south of them for the other stuff they need. But eventually we would come to about midday. We would come to Centerfield, which is a big-ass farm with a main farmstead in the middle and a bunch of smaller lodgings throughout. And this is one of the two farming villages that supplies food to this county. But there's nothing real notable about it except the main stead has a small town built up around it where there is a fairly substantial market. They do a decent amount of trading with people going to and from Dragonwatch, but most people are gonna hang on to their gold for once they reach the big city. So
makes sense.
And then from there, we would come to Dragonwatch probably by nightfall that second day.
Is there a temple there?
Well, in what, Centerfield?
Yeah.
I don't think there would be a full temple, but there would probably be a building where they've got effigies set up for people to come and sit. So there'd probably be at least one priest or something there.
Is Dowroc doing his thing?
Yeah.
All right. So it's again, assuming nothing else happens.
Sorry, it has to be done, John.
Oh, all this, and it's like, actually go all the way back. Now you find something. No, I'm just kidding.
So, assuming
And gold too. So
assuming nothing else happens, we would come next to Dragonwatch, which
Here it
is big. It's a big ass town. It sits like looking past it, you can see where the land and the mountains to either side kind of part to become the Valley of Dragons.
Okay.
But the town itself is the biggest that any of you have ever seen, except maybe Dowroc, I guess. But I mean, dwarven cities would be laid out very differently to this.
yeah.
Let me real quick. It's big. It's fully walled, even though it's massive. And it has its own farms around it too, even though it can rely on the other towns in the area for food. It doesn't necessarily need to.
I pull up the stupid chat and I see a freaking Russian dance again. All right, go ahead.
It's one of the provincial capitals. It's a fortified city that, while big and well supplied, isn't considered opulent. It's more like, I don't know, industrial almost.
Okay.
It's mainly a very large military fortification. There's an offsite kind of across the river that loops kind of around the side of the town, where they train most of their guards. But the town itself is also run almost like a relatively lenient military camp. But there's a tradition here that since this place raises a lot of soldiers, when additional soldiers are needed for the kingdom's army, for whatever reason, this is the first place they'll conscript. They'll also pool the whole purpose of this place is to make sure the dragons don't get uppity and come out of the valley again, you know, in any sort of substantial way. So they will also conscript from County Dragonwatch if their own forces aren't big enough, and even though their main purpose is to watch the dragons, they mostly, in recent times, have started to really, like, their main purpose has really kind of become to keep really stupid people from entering the valley, because, like, you know, they sit
and then we show up.
Yeah, they sit right at the border. They have patrols that patrol the roads and unofficial passes into the valley around the town, and this is where you come to get your sort of pass into the valley legally, and where you can ask for a military guide.
Okay.
It's like that Fallout New Vegas, where the guy's like, here, it's like, you can cross this road if you want, and it's just like,
yeah, it's kind of that.
It's like fireballs, like a ton of fireballs. We don't have an official pass. It's just like,
yeah. So we definitely want to go into the city. We want to do this right. Dowroc, you will notice as you enter, every time two wall segments intersect, there is a magical cannon sitting at that point on the wall, atop the wall.
Ooh.
Something that just shoots magical force blasts. kind of like having cannons, like regular cannons on the wall or whatever, but more magic-y.
Magical.
There would definitely be a Bracers Guild here. There would also be a Rangers Lodge, and probably like a lodge for just unaffiliated fighters if we wanted to look into something like that. The market here would have probably pretty rare stuff, but I don't know how much we'd be able to afford from that. Tons of people, huge population. We're talking like 4,000 plus people.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty full.
There's a high count that rules the city, which it's an inherited position. So he's almost like a low level king. He would have a council of advising generals and a court wizard with a couple of apprentices. Tons of guards. Like, you don't want to pick a fight here unless you're extremely powerful. And there's 4 inns, and there is a large temple.
Large temple. That means you need to put in twice as much money.
The blacksmith here, the main blacksmith that operates at the center of the city. You could probably find cheaper ones too, but he's also very good at his job and would be well supplied.
Enough. I want to say enough that he can upgrade things.
Yep.
If needed, or buy things or whatever.
Or possibly even, assemble parts into something new if we wanted him to for any reason. So there you go. In terms of architecture, it would be, I don't know, kind of imagine everything is kind of ergonomically arranged. There's very little flair to anything. A lot more function than anything else.
Right.
Even the green spaces, because there's like groupings of buildings with green spaces, and then there's green spaces near the walled off castle. Even those are very efficiently arranged. It feels very curated and manufactured. Like it's not oppressive. Like the size of the city doesn't feel particularly oppressive. You're not gonna like feel overwhelmed being here. In fact, it's organized pretty well. The streets are clearly labeled, but you don't feel like you'd ever really be comfortable here, if that makes sense. There's also a very large building across from the castle, across the green space from the castle. That is the primary military barracks. That is the place where we would likely be directed to find a military appointed guide into the valley. But first, as we come into town, there would be an inn. If you look at the map, there's, like, if you come in from the south, there's a grouping of buildings outside the wall. There would be an inn there, and then there'd be another inn a couple of blocks into the city inside the wall as well.
Okay.
And the exterior inn would be cheaper, obviously. So, it depending on what we want to do, there is plenty here.
There is. Dowroc, is there anything in particular you would like to try to do before heading out?
Yeah.
Yeah, while you're deciding on that,
Thinking.
I'm gonna
Anything Johan would like to go?
not at the moment. I'm gonna go take my dogs out there real quick.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Taking Todd out.
How many plates of mithril would I have to buy, or for him to
do the armor?
Yeah. at play.
Did you have any?
No, I had to use them on my arm. Oh, there's no black market in this place.
Why? What are you gonna do? You gonna try to sell the flail again?
No, we're not selling it. I don't think it's not the right thing to do. I don't want to
Probably
be.
wouldn't be the right thing to do, but
I don't want to be
maybe
used to this.
you might regret not selling it. Oh,
We
I
might
don't know. I'm just saying things now to screw with your head. Not basing that on anything. Zack went to Majin Mazaku.
Dowroc ended that with a single gunshot.
And I could see Bren just sitting next to, or Johan actually. I could see Johan saying something like, "Oh, it's a good thing you didn't get that good of a shot when you were fighting me." Because yeah, you're like, I'm gonna shoot him. Brent, boom. I love it when story things like that, and you get crits.
All right, I am back.
Okay. Nick stepped away for a moment. I'm kind of curious. Did you, if I was sitting in front of you, would you be rolling your eyes when Zack went all like anime darkness?
No, not really.
Just curious. There's a story reason for it, so.
Yeah, you're doing a good job of making sure all the crazy anime bullshit that that happens to him happens in line with like an ability, you know.
Oh yeah, like the patron and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, It's not gonna be just some. Oh yeah, I'm a big sword anime guy. No. I even got a shield now. Of course, it's a Captain America style shield, but still.
How many days was it for that trip?
I think, didn't you say like 2-ish?
Yeah,
Right?
it would have been 2-ish.
I'm gonna say Dowroc was gonna talk about the villages that at the end of the day, nights and stuff like that. He was gonna talk about the villages on the way there.
You talking about the ones you passed, or?
Yeah, just
Okay.
let Bryn know what's going on.
Oh, through this town.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Good, I like that.
He made a telephone.
Yeah.
Well, you
It's
said
like
one-
it's like the old telephones when we were young, where it's like you have this many minutes. Once it runs out, you're done.
and one use one time a day, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still like old days, where it's like call me after 7 p.m. where my minutes are free. All right, so you guys are in town, so you guys can kind of do whatever you so desire.
Depending on how you want to rule it, we might be able to find better potions here, but like I also don't think we should spend the money on higher tier potions yet, if we even can afford them. So I'm not going to worry about that. I think I'm pretty well stocked right now, actually. I haven't used any of my beads of force for a while. I should probably use one of those again.
I have a curiosity question that just kind of comes to mind. Let's say that, and this literally just came to mind, so no planning or anything ahead, but if I were to take Zack to 3rd level Warlock and do Pact of the Blade, where you can, yada yada, you can make an additional basically weapon in addition to a hex, because you can do a hex weapon which uses my charisma, and then I can use the Pact Blade or Pact weapon, I guess technically, and use my charisma. How would you guys rule if, since any Pact weapon also gets the benefits of my hex weapon, how would you rule if Zack tried to do it with the shield? So he has a sword and a shield, technically.
Yeah,
I mean, would he be able to use charisma? I think he would, but
the shield is.
I'm just curious. If not, it's fine.
The shield is not technically listed.
It's not technically a weapon.
Yeah, it's not technically listed as a weapon, but it can be used to make ranged weapon attacks. So I don't see any reason why we couldn't rule it that way. Like I imagine some rules
I'm sure most people
like
would
rules
probably say
lawyers.
no.
Well,
Yeah, I'm sure
I
they'd say
don't
no.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how whether you care more about the rules or care more about just like letting your players have fun.
Yeah.
So,
well, 'cause,
like-
I mean, the shield. I mean, granted, in the grand scheme of things, I'm trying to think like realistically how often he's going to throw the shield. I mean, because once he gets Eldritch Blast kind of under control and he's got a range, the shield was like a really fun thing to have. Is he going to throw it a ton? Probably not. So it's like, do I really need to worry about it? Because his dex is 3, his dex mod, and so he would just get a +2 more to hit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I'd like that, but at the same time, I'm trying to think, would I throw it? Because Eldritch Blast is a cantrip. So it's like, I'm not going to run out of that. I don't know. Food for thought. I didn't know. I didn't know if you could say, like, hex the shield, since it can make attacks.
Yeah, I mean,
But I don't know.
I don't like. Let me put it this way: if you were like, I don't know, trying some exploit with like a great axe or something that does like ridiculous damage or whatever, I might rule no. But for something like this, it's a more of a gimmick weapon than anything else, right? So I think
exactly.
I think it would definitely be fine.
Because, I mean, yeah, it's a gimmick. It's not, I mean, is it good? Like, could you build a character around it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, certainly.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, all right, so what do we want to do in town? Anything? You said no to the potions and stuff just because for money and...
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I think we should do is, like, do we want to take the horses and the carriage into Dragon Country and risk the horses being eaten by a particularly uppity young dragon or something? Or should we, like, I don't know, like, pay a stable in town to just keep our stuff for a while?
I mean, I would say probably that. The only downside is that, I mean, when we leave Dragon Country, are we heading back south? Or, like, do we know we're going to come back down this way? That'd be the only thing.
I mean, I would expect to come back this way to re-enter Byzantia. Like, it's really the only main way to do it, unless we, like, I don't know, flew in or something. So...
Okay.
Like,
Well, then
yeah.
I definitely think it'd probably be better than to leave them just for safety.
Yeah, it's also very uneven and mountainous in the valley too. So like, we'd have to like really pay attention to where we went and stuff.
Mm.
Like, Johan will be like having never been there. There could be areas where we have to like climb. Who knows, right? So that's my recommendation too. So I'll go as we come into town, as the sun's kind of coming down. I will find a stable, if like as close to the wall as I can, and I will pay them for I don't know, how long do we expect to be in there? A couple weeks, maybe at most. I'll pay for like 10 days.
Okay.
And I explain that if we end up taking longer than that, if they wouldn't mind, just make up a bill and I'll pay anything left over when we get there, you know.
So basically, wait 10 days. And if we're not back, wait longer.
Yeah. Well, that way. Well, I tell them we could be there we could be there fewer than 10 days, but I'm still paying you for 10 days, either way. And and then, but in exchange, I'd like you to give us a little grace if we end up taking longer.
Okay. Yeah, they're very accommodating. Go 2 gold a day.
Okay.
So was that 10? Or no, top 10. You said 10 days, so 20 plus the 3, so 23 gold.
Okay. Cool. Very good. All right. Yay, economy. So I'll do that first, and then I'll wander into the town a little bit and see if I can find an inn inside the walls, because you know that's better than being outside the walls. And
I would agree.
and like I mean, it's like this isn't even a place that we could like it would take us a pretty decent amount of time to even cross the city. So like, I kind of think we should just wind down for the day. At least that's my plan.
We're still outside the walls.
I mean, I'm wandering in. If you like, but like, depending on how spread out we are, you definitely could be. Because like, I mean, we need to go to the barracks and make sure they receive my letter and have a guide ready for us. But like, that is a thing I think we should probably do in the morning.
Agreed.
There's also like we could go to the Bracers Guild and see if there's any quests to do in the valley itself. And I don't know how much they actually, you know, deal with that kind of stuff. There's like the local wizard and stuff, but I don't need any magical services right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna go get us some rooms.
Yeah, Zack seems kind of also in that same state of mind of like not really being interested in exploring too much. I mean, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He says he's like, I don't need anything at the moment. So,
Like, I will say though, wandering around, this is the first town where we really see stuff like, a bakery would have like, might have like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a steam stack coming out the window where they've got like a steam powered generator inside that like keeps their oven warm and maybe heats the house, and like there would be airships over the city. Ooh. And the magical cannons are obviously technology, and you might see like even like electric lights that come on at night. This is a more technologically advanced place than we've been before, between steam and magic power. So if any members of our party are interested in that kind of thing, maybe they'd be more inclined to wander around a little bit.
Zack shows great interest in airships, but he does not. Well, he says that. He's like, you know, I would love to actually get more information in regards to them, because I think that would be an amazing adventure to have something like a vehicle like that, or to be on a ship. So it's definitely something I want to check out.
Yeah, I agree. You'll also see like you would see there's probably like stairs up to the top of the walls where the airships will come in and kind of dock atop the walls, so they don't have to come all the way to the ground, and people will unload. And there'd probably be public transportation too, like carriages specifically for taking you through the city. We've kind of moved up from like just this side of like medieval to like, I don't know, like
steampunk.
Yeah,
like a steampunk era.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, Zack seems quite interested actually in all of the steam-oriented into things and airships. He does seem very interested in it, and definitely says, I need to check this out at some point.
I like this, like grabbing Zack's hand. Zack's grabbing his wrist. I mean, let's go.
Johan, if he's looking at the steam powered stuff or the airships, it's more like, is that going to explode? I don't know if that's going to explode. I hope that doesn't explode. He grew up in a forest.
He shoots fire.
True.
Add something.
He might make it blow up.
Yeah.
Dowroc. I'll do some things out. Dowroc had an explosion recently, so.
Well, Zack seems determined to go ahead and start talking to the guides, but I mean, you both are both more welcome to do everything. He does, like I said, seem a little distracted by the steampunk era, but he seems very resistant to hanging out because he does not feel super safe, because he doesn't want something potentially to happen if he's off having fun and then all of a sudden something happens with him. So he seems a little bit more recluse about it.
Okay. So are we sleeping? Are we sleeping before we do anything else?
Dowroc's eating some pastry from that.
Yes, yeah, we can do it rest, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That was filling up on pastry from that.
You're just throwing them in your bag of holding. Just
yeah.
so many pastries.
So
that's an excuse to check out the oven. That's why he got pastry.
Yeah. So what's the
And that's why.
what's the ongoing process? Like, where are we in Dowroc's armor production process? Is there anything he wants to try to get done with that here? We're not staying in town very long, but like the blacksmith here would definitely be able to fashion that armor, and you could have him like hold on to it until we get back.
Was he in the inner?
Yeah, he's toward the center of the town.
If you look at the map, there's a little square in the center of town with the big barracks and guard hall to the north, and the other 3 blocks that kind of make up the sides of that square are all shops, and the blacksmith would be the one that has like a opening in the center, the one to the east, where he would store all his supplies kind of behind his shop in that center area. Yeah, we'd have to go pretty deep into the town. So like even if it's something he waited to do until we like set out again in the morning, like he could veer off and do that while Zack and Johan are talking to the guards. You know.
That's the plan.
Okay.
Pretty much. Ooh. Maybe he's gonna go to the temple.
Yes. The temple would also probably be in that area. It could just be any of these buildings we want it to be, frankly.
He should explain what his plans are with the poor and the orphans.
Yeah. And you would notice there's definitely a class divide here. Like, it doesn't seem like anybody's like doing like horribly, but
like super rich.
as you get closer to the wall, they're like where it's more like the people who just live here, who aren't really, their family isn't really tied to the guard at all.
Yeah.
They're very, 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 very working class. And then as you get towards the center, those are the people who, like my brother and my father and my son are all members of the guard, and members of my family have been in the guard for generations, and he's doing a little better, you know. So that's definitely something you guys would pick up on.
Dowroc is gonna give them 30 gold, which is a larger town.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to head directly to the barracks then, which would have kind of like a hall attached to it where people can come and apply for entry into Dragon Valley.
Okay. Zack will accompany.
I'll head inside and I'll find the first official I can, and confirm that my letter arrived ahead of us.
Okay. They assure you that, oh, yes, we did receive your letter.
And, yeah, like, I didn't go over what I put in it. I didn't want to get super specific because, like, what if Lloyd or one of his people intercepted it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would have mentioned that we had an urgent quest that wouldn't necessitate our entry into Dragon Country, that we were requesting a guide, so I asked, was our request approved?
And he kind of, the guard, or he kind of just ruffles through some papers and kind of picks one up, and he said, oh, yes, it was. I'll be right back in a moment. I will get your guide.
Actually, if I could say something.
Or, yeah.
I would like him to go look for her. And,
okay.
And we kind of wait around for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back and it's not surprising considering who drew this particular straw. You'll see what I mean when you meet her. She's already waiting at the northwestern gate for you. She's always eager to range out into the valley as often as possible. Just go there, and you'll find there are guard posts at each of the gates. Find the guard post there, and she should be waiting.
Zack says, sounds good. Thank you for your assistance. Johan, is there anything else you needed?
Well, the guy will also say, I will say though, she's been camping there for the past several days now. I wouldn't recommend taking too much longer. She tends to be a little impatient.
Sounds like we know our heading then.
All right, I'll thank him and go check up on Dowroc and see what he's doing, I guess, before we go any further.
Yep.
Dowroc is heading to the northwest gate.
Okay.
After he has like skewers of meat in his hand and just chatting up the town, and Ika was getting attention, I assume.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, they're not as like blown away by it because this is a steam city, so that it's not too crazy for them to see it compared to other ones that you've been to.
It says he sees a tent at the northwest gate.
Is he like off by himself or what? What's going on?
Yeah, he's off. Yeah, I'm off by myself. I'm enjoying it. He's enjoying the town, man.
Did you go to the blacksmith yet or anything?
Yeah, I went there.
Yeah.
And then went to the temple, and then I bought. I think Jeremy, you said it was 600 to get it all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, you had a very fortunate amount of money then.
Well, that's what I had from.
Yeah.
Before.
Oh, I know. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I already spent a bunch of mine, so.
Well, I just spent what you spent.
Yeah.
So the armor.
So I guess I don't know if we see you as we're coming out and kind of join up or what.
I don't know because I don't know what he wants to do.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm letting him kind of go do whatever he wants right now, I guess.
But that's the direction I'm going to head to then, if I don't still see him puttering around the market. So
he's heading toward the gate, pretty much. He's just puttering around, just looking around, and just being kept in all the fights and stuff like that. Because I went to the Bracers Guild to see if there are any quests for the valley.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. We should probably do that too. Just even if we don't intend to like take one for like monetary purposes, it might help us to get some sort of understanding of what's going on up that way if we check and see if anything's been posted.
See the creatures, any terrors or
yeah.
So you kind of make your way into the Bracers Guild. You check with them to see if they have any current jobs in to the valley, or to deeper in, and they say that they don't really deal with a lot of jobs inside of it. It's very rare to actually get a request from inside, since majority of the time the guards and the individuals that are at this camp, or this village, this town, the city, they take care of pretty much all the issues that occur. So most of ours are, he said, most of ours are in surrounding the other direction, so we don't really venture into it a whole bunch. So unfortunately, I don't have any jobs inside of Dragonwatch now.
Am I there? Am I there too? Did I get
Yeah,
there
yeah.
by now? All right. So I'll ask. Will have anything on the less official side? Have you heard of anything going on in the valley lately? Just down the grapevine,
He said the only thing that I've heard recently in the valley is that there was the old spire that's in there. It's pretty much been vacant and dormant, and there's been no activity of it for many years. But recently, about a week ago, a light appeared at the top of it, and it hasn't extinguished or gone out or anything. But nothing's been happening with it, so no one's really concerned, I guess you could say.
Do you know of anyone who has gone to investigate more directly, and if so, have they returned? Could we maybe speak with them?
The only people that I would have known would have been somebody from the guards, but I don't know who or if they came back or anything. Unfortunately, while the guards and us work well together, they don't tell us additional information if they don't need to. We don't try to quote pry into their affairs. So unfortunately, I have no other information for you in regards to that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we're going to be dealing with the guard again relatively soon. We'll ask then.
I'll say, yeah, that might be your best chance then to get information about it, because, yeah, like I said, unfortunately, they don't offer us much. They help us. We kind of tidy up the small things around the area. They get to go kind of have more of the fun.
All right, now I will be back in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Won't have too much longer today.
Yeah.
And then death becomes you.
What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything will work out fine-ish.
And I'm back.
Okay. Alright. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Where'd we... Oh, that's right, the Bracers Guild.
Yeah, I've done everything I want to do there, so I'm gonna start heading towards the gate again at this point.
Alright. Dowroc, what are you doing?
I'm following Johan, probably.
Yeah.
I'm getting...
Dude, get out of there. Come on.
Probably trying to get, new food or drink. Pointing things out to Johan. And Johan saying, that will explode. That will...
Doesn't that look really cool? It's gonna blow up. No. It'll be fine.
And then Dowroc trying to explain how that works to where it's trial and error. If they had it here, it won't explode. Obviously, they have it present in front of people. It's not going to explode.
That's not true.
You have a lot of
Don't
faith
believe
in people.
Well, I have a lot of faith in the sciences. I know what the trial and error it takes to be able to make one of these.
Yeah, I still think I prefer trees.
Okay.
They're kind of just... while I do prefer, I think, Hallbrook's natural peace and quiet, but the steam building and airships in this town have really do grab my interest.
I will admit the airships are appealing. The ability to get places without having to worry about the terrain is certainly interesting. Even though this makes me wish we had the resources to book passage on one of those to where we're going now. But I imagine they're extremely expensive.
I would imagine so. Alright. So if there's nothing else you guys want to do in the town at the moment, you guys make your way to the border.
Yeah.
Alright. John, I don't know if you want to do this, because this is where Megan kind of comes in, but...
Yep. As we reach the gate, you can tell there are fewer residences here than there were, like, further back the other way. There's a couple more smiths here, and mostly, though, there's just places where you would expect people to trade in supplies. There's another inn in this area. And, way more guard posts. Like, the main concentration of guard posts in the city is kind of this way. Fewer multi-story buildings, because there's fewer buildings here with, like, residences built on top of other stuff. It feels more official, is the point, almost ominously so. Like, it's, like the city is saying, we live here, and we are very prepared in this area for there to be danger. Maybe you shouldn't be going this way. But, you know, we have to anyway, so we do. And when we come to the gate, they actually will check for papers that we received from the barracks. They were actually even able to exit the city at this gate. And when we show them that we are, they let us pass. And then we walk a decent ways down the road, past more shops and a couple stables. And even I would imagine probably some people set up to sell last minute supplies, and maybe even a couple of more underhanded guys wanting to sell you discount magic items that might help you against those dragons that are definitely about to eat you. Or people trying to scam you into buying, like, life insurance or something. Because, like, you're probably going to die soon.
Dowroc, you should totally get life insurance for Bryn. So when you die, she gets money.
I mean, do you want to do that? Because, like, I have an interesting...
I'm just going to do an insight check on them.
Interesting what? I'm curious now.
Interesting scene that could happen.
A 17 on an insight check.
Do it,
Right.
Dowroc.
You do notice that the guy seems to be full of shit.
Yeah.
But before you can turn away, you hear a woman's voice. I'd recommend against that. We would have thrown him out a long time ago if it were illegal for us to do so. And the guy kind of shoots a dirty look over your shoulder and then retreats into his little stall and shuts the gate. Do you search for the source of the voice?
Yes. Yes.
All right. As a party, you turn. You're relatively close to the end of the row of stuff at this point, so you can see the guard encampment kind of past everything else that's on this little road, like a little ways off. So you're about where you would have expected to find your guide anyway. You turn, and you see a young woman with long red hair that, despite the fact that she is clearly wearing military armor, it's her own armor, but she wears the colors and the emblem of the guard. Her hair is down and flowing freely. She's wearing half plate, relatively standard, but she's carrying a particularly ornate shield. And
I'm sorry. Hello there.
In fact, as you look her over, you see a small crossbow, and a sword hanging from her belt. But both of those, a long sword, both of those look to be standard issue. The shield is really the only thing that sets her apart gear-wise. And she wanders over and says, we don't tend to get a ton of people through this gate. And I'm waiting for a group of adventurers. Don't tell me you're them.
I believe we are.
I guess.
Do we not look up to the task by that initial comment?
And you seem relatively close to buying what he was selling. And your group's a little small for a journey like this one. I'll do my best to keep you alive, but my job here is really only to show you the safest way forward. I'm expected to come back. I have other duties here. So if you try particularly hard to get yourselves killed, I don't know that I'm necessarily going to do much to dissuade you.
Megan's a little more feisty in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that Johan will enjoy this. Well, back to Zack. Yeah, well, I mean, we thank you for whatever assistance you can provide us, and I can assure you that we're more than capable of holding our own.
I hope so. Even if you know the safest route through the valley, dangers can come up over every hill.
I can imagine so.
Though, I will let you know a secret. As dangerous as it is, most people think the main danger is the dragons. They tend to mind their own business. It's everything else that's a problem.
How so?
Well,
What other things would you be referring to?
any large monster, anything large enough that a dragon might find it a satisfactory meal. Back when the dragons took up residence here in the long ago times, they kind of herded all those kinds of creatures up this way. So, if you've ever heard of a big monster, then you're as likely as not to find it here as you are anywhere else.
Do I notice anything about her, like race or anything? Does she just look human, or?
She looks human, but she is, depending on the way she carries herself, it may be more or less apparent, but she is striking. And you do notice a particular gleam to her green eyes.
Ooh.
In
Can I
fact,
do an insight check?
you can do an insight check.
17. Does she seem to notice my eyes, or
She seems very,
or just not really?
very, very enthralled with her own dialogue at this point.
Ah, okay. So
It's
she's
all-
not really paying attention.
Yeah, this is clearly something that this is a spiel that she's given before, and considering that
Right.
as she's been talking to you, she's kind of been walking like half backwards, leading you guys towards the road, even though she's been whining about how capable you look. She clearly wants to get going.
Okay.
So Johan's actually going to ask her why she seems so eager.
Dowroc's like, I don't know, guys. We are kind of a small party. So I mean, maybe we shouldn't go this way.
No, it's the only way you can go. At least the only way you can go where my comrades are certain not to stop you. Those papers you handed in at the gate, they won't serve you at all on the road forward. You need to be with an assigned guide, or you will be brought back in irons.
Zack kind of looks over at Dowroc and he says, "Our party may be small, but I know no matter what, I need to go see this tower or find Lloyd and figure out what's going on with me. So I, for whatever, will be going. So I know that you'll go with, but obviously it would be better if we had more people. But thankfully we'll have. And I'm sorry, did she introduce herself? I don't think she did she?
No, she didn't.
Okay. And don't worry. I mean, we'll have. I'm sorry. What is your name?
And then she said, "I'm Megan." And
I'm Zack. Good to meet you.
Just Megan though. No family name. Don't actually know who they were, but doesn't really matter.
You don't got family problems.
You know, I made my own name for myself, and then Johan will actually ask her why she seems. He'll say, you know, as disparaging as you've been, you seem pretty eager to get started. She says, well, this is the only chance I get to leave the stuffy city walls. And I'm sure
you don't like it in the city?
It's fine. It shelters me. My fellow guards, some of them are like my family, but would you rather live your whole life inside those walls than come out here and see all of this?
I look back at the city and honestly, no, but I mean, may I ask then why you're still doing it? If you don't seem to care for it that much?
Well, it was the guard that found me as a child. I didn't know who I was or where I came from. They took me in. I owe them. I'm also a soldier. You can't just walk away from that.
Oh, I agree. But, I mean, you can't owe them the rest of your life. I mean, do you have like a term that you are required to serve, or?
Oh, they would let me leave if I really wanted to. But I'm fairly content to get out into the world for a period here and there.
I imagine then that you don't mind volunteering for these types of escorting, just to get you out of the walls for a while.
Oh no, I will take one of these assignments as often as I can.
I imagine there's probably more exciting than the other ones you could get.
By a substantial margin. And
well,
at this point, we kind of would have.
Yeah.
We there would have been like a paved part of the road, but we've kind of reached the end of that, and now we're passing kind of dirt roads and some like wheat fields and stuff. And
okay.
You can kind of see because the valley was it was a chunk of hills and mountains that were kind of ripped open by the impact of that meteor. So you could kind of see rock jutting up out of the ground where the giant scar in the earth starts. And she
this would have been near where the actual meteor hit. Right, because you said it's in or near Dragon Country.
I
think
the meteor is.
If it was. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
The meteor is kind of a third of the way up, but the impact of it, and the burst of like magic energy that it gave off, split the land all the way up to the end of the valley. So it would be like at least a day's journey to where the meteor actually sits, at least.
Okay.
Probably longer. Like as we kind of come up to the like crest of the valley, you could probably see the city that rose up around the meteor from where we are.
What were you saying?
When Megan was talking about when she mentioned, "Oh, I'm sure they'll let me leave," Dowroc wanted to read her face.
To see if that's like a truthful statement or not.
Yeah, just an insight to see if she's sure of that statement herself.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's not reading it. He's distracted by her hair.
Her
He
lovely.
Her
he,
lovely red hair.
he didn't notice anything, any uncertainty on her face. She seemed actually like she has this thing where she kind of leans in if she's telling you something that she like a secret, you know, and she kind of did that for that statement too. So like you kind of imagine this is probably a discussion that she's had with somebody.
Okay.
But maybe she's not really supposed to talk about it all that much. But you also kind of get the sense that if you asked her a question, she would just answer.
Dowroc would just surmise about looking around like the lower, like how it's like everybody's a soldier here. Is that really the lifestyle? Would they really let her leave? Is what he's trying to.
I'm gonna assume not really. Like, maybe, but I would assume, yeah, probably not.
I mean, you can ask her. You can ask her to elaborate if you want.
Well, as we're walking, I'm gonna. Well, Dowroc, do you want to ask her to elaborate, or I was gonna.
It just seems to me that everybody's a soldier in this town. It's just like it's the life's work, like life upon generations work. It's like, are you sure that they would let you just?
I guess I'll also ask, like, kind of what he like. Have you met a lot of people that have gotten out?
A fair few. There's usually a point where, you know, I do have to go back. I tend not to go further than that crazy wizard's tower, but basically everyone I've taken in has come home, and you see a good few come back from further than that, usually without whatever they went in to find. But we do lose people here.
I can imagine. Very dangerous place.
It is. Even if the dragons aren't as dangerous as everybody thinks it is, you still don't want to make one angry. And every once in a while, you'll get some idiot in here who thinks they can sneak into Dragon Horde or something, and that usually doesn't end well for them.
From what I heard from about dragons, I assume that their horde is their most important thing to them. So.
Oh yeah, Dragon Horde. That's the you might know of it. It's the old dwarven city ruins where where their king sits. That's their most important place. I was never really sure why, but they've got a whole other city. About half a day's journey closer to Byzantia, where if you don't stop there first and ask permission, they'll kill you on sight if you go any closer to Dragon Horde than that. She gets boastful for a second. She's like, I've been to Dragon Horde though. I met the king myself. He's actually a pretty nice guy. Well, dragon.
The Dowroc says they call it the mercy killing.
Zack kind of just, says, he's like, yeah, when I was, many years ago when I was a lot younger, I actually traveled through Dragon Country with my parents, but, I mean, we didn't really have too many run-ins, and we had a guide, but I don't really remember much about him, but, because, I mean, I went up to, remind me, do we just call it Wizard Town?
Yeah, that's literally what it's called.
Okay. Yeah, I was at Wizard Town actually a long time ago. It wasn't for very long, but I met the wizard that was there, and
you know what's crazy about that wizard?
What's that?
I met him once when I was a child, and 2 more times since then, and he doesn't look any different than he did the first day I saw him.
What did he look like when you saw him?
Sort of a, I don't know, 40-year-old-ish man with glasses. His hair was receding a little bit, but he looked capable, healthy. Which is
that is really odd. When's the last time you saw him?
Just earlier this year.
When's the first time you saw him?
When I was oh, 10 or 11 maybe.
Is that when the guard found you, or?
Shortly after, I displayed some magical abilities, and they thought that he might be able to use them to figure out where I came from.
Oh, was he able to figure out anything?
And if he was, he didn't tell me. He talked a lot, but he didn't really say much, if you know what I mean.
Well, I know what you mean. I had a very similar experience where I showed some power when I was a little younger, and so my parents brought me there, but they spoke with him, but they didn't really tell me anything. But I mean, weirdly enough, I mean that would have been, I don't know, at least 20-ish years ago, if not a little more at this point, and I mean he sounds exactly the same. I mean, I remember what he looked like, and he looked just like what you're describing.
Well, they do say he's been there for maybe even hundreds of years. Maybe it's just a wizard thing.
Yeah, could be. I don't really know that many wizards. From the town I grew up in, we didn't really have magic all that much, so I was really the only one that used it, which why it sparked so much, interest when I started showing it, because my father and a couple of his group were the only ones that kind of used magic, but it was all holy based and, used from a deity of some sort. Mine just seemed, I was able to just kind of do it. I wasn't a worshiper or anything when I was young, but I was still able to do magic. Very simple magic, but still.
And she says, "Me too. That's weird." And then Johan pipes in and says, maybe this guy just has particularly potent elven blood."
Could be. What I remember, he was just a human, but I mean, he could have easily had elven blood in him.
Johan, did your parents truck you to this wizard to see what kind of magic when you showed signs of magic? Did he truck you over to this wizard to see what he could come up with? This sounds like this. You humans have like a weird ritual for.
No, I've
I
never.
don't think Johan's been to him.
No, I've never met this guy. I've never been this far north to begin with.
Well, Zack kind of looked over.
Some sort of ritual where you go, this kid could just show magical abilities, but let's go take him to this wizard to see what he says about it.
Well, Zack kind of looks over at Megan. He's just like, kind of whispers to her, and he's just like, I think it's only certain types of magic, and he kind of lifts his hand up, and a small ball of light appears in his hand, which is the light cantrip that you get from being an ASMR, and he kind of shows it to her.
She looks particularly thrilled, and she does the same thing. Hey, I've never met anybody else who could do that.
And Zack's like, well, I've only met one other person, so it's good to actually meet someone that isn't trying to kill me.
So you have a lot of people trying to kill you then?
I mean, we make our fair share of enemies, but usually we're just trying to protect other people.
That's good. I wouldn't want to have to leave you here in the middle of the night to get eaten by monsters because I don't like you. And then she kind of laughs, like, that's probably not a thing she does, but
I wouldn't put it past her with how she talks sometimes.
Dowroc clap to make his eyes glow.
She doesn't seem.
It doesn't shed any light. They just glow.
Yeah, she looks at him and she kind of smiles at Igo. She's not as kind of taken with him immediately as some people are, though, because she does see technology here, and maybe nothing like him exactly, but stuff that has kind of put it in her mind that something like this definitely would seem possible to her at a glance.
Well, she was just trying to. I think Dowroc was just trying to make the eyes glow.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. Just
Zack does kind of stick next to Megan, and he's just like, I have to ask, and I was like, I apologize if it's too personal, and obviously don't answer it if you don't want to, but I have this weird ability, I think, from whatever these powers are, and I kind of give off like this weird aura around me at whatever, I don't know, random times, or I'm starting to get better at that. Is that something that you have as well, or?
She looks kind of taken aback. And she says, let's wait and see if we get into any fights. And I'll show you. Maybe I might know what you're talking about.
And Zack just kind of nods at her and he's like, sounds good.
All right, Johan's kind of fallen back at this point. He isn't 100% sure what to do with somebody who's so outgoing. He's also, she talks a lot, and
Johan's pretty outgoing.
He's sure. She also talks a lot, and while he's listening to what she says, he's also trying to pay a little bit of attention to the sounds around you, because at this point you will have officially crossed over into the valley. It's very rocky and uneven. As far as you can see, it goes pretty deep, and you're having to pay a lot of attention to where you step at this point. Because while it's not incredibly steep right around where you are, you kind of get the sense that if your feet slipped out from under you, you would slide and or roll quite a distance before you stopped.
Ooh.
Johan's also not super thrilled about the fact that there's not a ton of trees around here. It's mostly open. There's more the further down you get, but there's just no real great place for them to grow up here.
Dowroc, were you saying something?
Dowroc's talking to Johan because it's just like, I don't think Zack knows the depth. I don't think he knows what sarcasm means. When I was trying to talk about I don't think we should leave. I don't think we should go, as she's eagerly trying to walk us over to the door. I don't think he got that. Oh no.
Mm.
And you both kind of notice, at least Zack, when he's talking to Megan, he does seem a little bit calmer than he has been. So it's kind of a nice relationship kind of that they're already starting to talk about, you know. So it's kind of letting him loose a little bit.
Good. Very good. All right. Now that we're kind of a little bit into her character introduction, what's going on? We bumping into anything or anything?
I mean, you mean on the way to the spire?
Yeah.
Let's see.
She did hear back when you guys were talking at the gate. She did hear mention of the spire, and you kind of, I don't, like, you guys would have kind of noticed that she makes note of that, but she kind of purposefully doesn't say anything about it.
The spire at all?
Yeah, because the spire just became active again recently, and roll insight real quick.
Ooh.
Both of us?
21.
You do definitely notice. Dowroc, roll insight too, please. Okay. Still distracted by her hair.
Yeah. You're not.
Zack definitely notices when she kind of purposefully like redirects from talking about your destination. Like, because you were kind of at that point in the conversation where that might have been where the conversation went next, and she avoided it. And you think maybe as you get to know her, maybe the fact that spire just became active recently has kind of put her off, because it seems like she does know this area pretty well otherwise. And that would kind of be the answer that you would get from her if you decide to ask her about the spire. It would be something along the lines of, well, it was there, now it's doing stuff, and I have no idea why.
Like, well, I appreciate you at least leading us in that direction.
Johan will ask, we did get a tip from the Bracers Guild that perhaps guards had been sent to the tower. Have you heard anything about that? And she'll reply that, yeah, they haven't come back yet.
Oh.
It doesn't.
Good. Yeah, does not seem good. You don't seem very
Plus.
surprised by that.
It's not uncommon for guards to return from the valley, but it's also not uncommon for them not to. I mean, the dangers here are dangerous for everyone.
Fair, that's true.
Something that the dragons chased away. I wonder what the food chain looks like since the dragons chased away all the lowers.
Well, that's the funny thing, actually. This whole place, you could almost think of it as like a big, free-range farm. All the big creatures here are fed by the people who live in the little towns, mostly Skystone, where they raise smaller animals to let out into the wild to keep those other creatures fed so that the dragons can feed.
Huh.
It's like the whole economy of this place, really.
Those of us dumb enough to venture down here also need that feed.
Sure, sometimes. That's why we stick to this particular path. This is where they, based on where they set those big creatures up, this is the path that we're the least likely to run into them. She would say that's why it's real stupid, the people who try to sneak in here. It's not even like we think it's dangerous for other people for them to come in here on their own. It's dangerous for them.
So is there? This is asking you. Is there any monster, like when you say like the giant monsters and all that kind of stuff? Is there any of them in particular that are in this area, or are they just, large creatures?
I don't know.
Just curious.
Elephants or mammoths or like dinosaurish things. We could run into anything like that here.
Okay, I just wasn't 100%. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the most docile ones are probably elephants, but like those are probably also the ones that that any one of us would have been most likely to see elsewhere too, because this isn't the only place you can find them. But like a frickin' ankylosaurus or something. This is the only place you'd really see one of those.
Okay. Is it that for the pass, like your pass? Is there a difference? Like when you say people sneak in here, like is it other guards who know the difference, or is it?
Well, I wear these colors so that anyone else who's patrolling the road here will be able to tell from a distance that we're here officially. Now, every once in a while, you get somebody who manages to steal a guard's colors and wear them around themselves.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Those people tend to be overconfident enough that they don't last very long, though. And also, depending on what path you take, that can give you away too. Most of the people who sneak in, they think they can go and try to siphon off the magic from the Skystone or raid Dragon Horde or some stupid thing like that. So
the Skystone?
Yeah, that's.
Do you know anything more about that, or
just that it's the big rock that fell from the sky all those years ago? There's a city there now, and the magic there, it kind of runs up through the valley. I think that's where the wizard gets a lot of the power that he uses to do the big spells that he casts sometimes. Otherwise, it's just another city. Lots of lizard people there, but otherwise, it's probably the most civilized place in the entire valley, really. Except there is this one town way up further north, even further than the wizard, where the dwarves there just make the most interesting machines.
Ooh.
idea? We'll have to check that out sometime. Zach says it. He kind of looks over at Dowroc.
We could check it out now.
I mean, we could check it out now.
No, it would be a significant detour, because this place is just it's mostly a straight line south to north, and basically everything else of interest is further south than that. The only things north from there are the little gate town where you get permission to go to Dragonhorde, and then Dragonhorde itself. So, like, depending on where specifically you decide to put the spire, it would almost certainly be closer than basically any of that other stuff.
Okay.
Is the other thing of note here probably is that there's like a big ass river, and it's like there's a river, and then it opens into a lake, and then then that branches off into a couple more rivers, which then merge into an even wider river, and that kind of marks the bottom of the valley. And based on where you've been walking so far, it definitely seems like the path that Megan is taking you. It kind of crisscrosses that sometimes, but it actually stays a healthy way away from the river, which you kind of guess is because the creatures here probably congregate there.
Okay. All right. So as you are traveling, yeah. Okay. Let me make sure it actually exists on the map.
Uh-oh.
Don't say uh-oh.
You
don't know.
What exists? A Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Yes, a T-Rex.
I think we could take
right.
a T-Rex. What's a T-Rex challenge rating?
Tyrannosaurus.
Oh God, no. Yeah, we might be able to take a T-Rex, maybe, possibly.
I mean, it's only an 8. That's not that bad.
No, it would
But
definitely.
would a T-Rex randomly be here?
I mean,
You said Ankylosaurus.
it could be. They'd be more rare than some of the other stuff because the dragons wouldn't want a ton of competing predators. But like it's just like you need guys to hunt deer. Sometimes you need something to keep populations from getting too high.
Mm.
So they might. I don't know. They might kind of curate a couple of T-Rex families. Across the length of the valley. Did any of you guys guess that I was going to make the dragons into basically shepherds?
I did not know that you were going to do that. I, for one, did not know.
Meet their dog. Meet the dog. The shepherd's dog.
Oh yeah, that's good size.
They're like their motivation's kind of like the vampires in the Castlevania show.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys ready?
Yes.
No, well, I'm ready for what?
All right. So as you're traveling through it,
You ready for something?
yes, you start hearing a noise.
Oh Lord!
All right, Megan's
and-
gonna roll perception. He only gets like a 10. She hears something, but she doesn't know what it is, I guess.
So many characters to add.
What?
They're just us.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying like other like just us.
That is the other thing. It's not like this place would be like entirely devoid of like bandits and stuff. It would just be like, rather than like humans, you would see like dragonborns and kobolds and lizard folk and stuff probably. Since the same kind of magic that makes the valley appealing to dragons kind of makes it appealing to them too.
You guys can open up the map.
Oh, good, because I already did that.
Situate yourselves however you'd like on the left side of the map.
All right, so
However we would be talking, you know.
the way I kind of envisioned it is that Zack and Megan would kind of be closer to the front. Johan would be kind of back here, and Dowroc would be kind of in between us. And then Todd and Igo would just go wherever. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like this maybe.
Did you see anything on the map when you went there originally, John?
No, just desert.
Okay.
So, I think Johan will also roll perception to see if he can determine where that sound came from.
Okay.
19.
So he notices it a little bit more, and he kind of, because, you know, this is very mountainy and hilly and stuff, so you do notice it a little bit to the northeast. So you do hear something, and it's getting louder very quickly.
Alright,
I guess probably criminal at this point.
yeah, I say, hold on, you guys hear that?
I got you, one.
Zack does insight. Zack gets a 23 insight. Woo! Zack kind of moves up just a little bit. And
What direction is it coming from?
northeast. So up here.
So Igo's gonna probably move here, like diagonal to Dowroc on the northeast side.
So Zack moves up, and he's just like, and he kind of reaches behind him, grabs his shield, kind of slowly puts it in front of him, and then he just screams. As he's kind of fixed on a position, you hear noise, 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 and then you hear stomping as they're slowly getting louder.
Let me ask this:
Uh-huh.
is the water in my endless decanter vibrating?
It is ever so slightly as each step is being made. And
Johan,
with that,
Jeff Goldblum.
all of a sudden, huh?
Johan's the Jeff Goldblum of this mission.
Must go faster. Must go faster.
So
I'm the old man with the beard.
as it's going, all of a sudden, pops over the mountainside or whatever. So this spot that you're in, the map that it shows is flat land, just for purposes of the fight.
There'd be plenty of like outcroppings and like jutting rocks and stuff or something to come up over or from behind of, you know. So
then as you're doing that, you hear pump, and then over the edge.
great.
Oh my God. Oh, no.
You know though, this is
Why was I right?
this is going to be very beneficial for Johan in a few levels to have seen this thing. I can tell you that much.
Oh my God.
Why? It's because he can polymorph into it.
Yes, or he can polymorph one of you guys into it.
Oh my God!
Why?
I go. Ooh, T-Rex. All right, roll initiative.
Cool.
We're fighting it now?
Well, like, do you think it's going to wait for us to get our shit in order?
Why is this happening?
Yes, we're fighting it now.
I'm gonna activate my boots.
Okay.
Got 22.
Okay.
So 19 for me total. Megan gets a 12. And
have Megan roll
she-
one more time.
Okay.
Unless she has some other ability that pluses to her.
17.
Okay.
You also notice that whereas Zack drew his shield, she did not. She was carrying the shield. She has to draw her sword.
Okay. All right. First up in the turn order is Dowroc.
Cool. You'll also notice that like everybody else here is kind of like, oh shit, what is that? Is that a dragon? But
Megan's probably just
Megan's just kind of rolling her shoulders, getting ready. Something she's dealt with this kind of thing before.
He's Dowroc's shaking a little bit. He's a little thing. Seen anything like this before, and it has teeth, and it's very big. It's bigger than an owlbear. So he's
Johan will even say, I don't think I've seen anything that big before.
like that is humongous.
Dowroc is going to stand his ground, and he's going to launch its prismatic bolt at that thing.
Trying to put it down as fast as possible.
Brit one-shots him.
That would be terrible.
That would be impossible, is what it is.
Oh no,
12? That is
Yeah.
a miss.
that is a miss. Dogs. His hands are shaking a little bit, and he's just like.
Ah.
But then he's gonna find the right thing I'm looking for. Just forget my stuff.
Jeez.
I should probably put it in my stuff. Dowroc is gonna tell I go to burn it down. And he's gonna use scorching rays at it.
Kill it! Kill it with fire!
If you can't kill it with fire.
That is 11.
Miss. This is against AC, correct? Like,
Yeah.
it's an AC shot. Yeah, then miss.
22.
That hits.
7 points of fire damage.
Okay.
That is 14. That missed. I think. There's a 14.
14 hits.
Oh, okay. So we know
It doesn't have high AC.
AC is 14 at least.
Who's next?
You
I
are.
don't- Okay.
Alright, so I'll, as you're breathing fire on it, I'm gonna say, hold on. And I will use Speak with Animals.
Oh.
And I will speak to it, and it will magically understand me, and I'll kind of understand what it's saying back. I'll tell it that we're just passing through. We don't want any trouble. There's not a lot of meat on us anyway. So we're just gonna go. What does it say back to me?
Comprehend and verbally communicate with beast for the duration. Now, I guess the question would be, what if the beast has no languages options?
I would still be able to interpret like its gestures and its noises and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So like like let's say it stomps its foot and snorts, I'd be able to understand what it means by that.
Okay. Alright, so please restate your statement.
I say, hold on, we're just passing through. We're not very big, so we wouldn't make a very good meal anyway. So we're just gonna go and we can leave each other to it.
As you say, we can go, he kind of stomps his right leg down real hard
Oh, that's not good.
and just kind of exhales from his nose a little bit.
I assume that's a negative then.
He just stomps his foot twice.
So I kind of look back over my shoulder and look back at the rest of you guys and shake my head. And then I will.
Holding your hand out like.
Zach's like, well, props for him for trying to talk to him.
Yeah, and I will draw my sword, and you'll see now that I have the more advanced one. When I cast Shillelagh on it, similar glowing patterns appear on it, as do Todd when he activates his tattoo. And then Todd will run up to my side, and that's my turn.
Okay. Zach's turn. So Zach is going to go. He's going to move here. And when he gets there, he is going to point his longsword at the T-Rex, and the aura that surrounds him when he goes into his divine energy kind of appears for a split second, and it kind of fades into the tip of his sword, and he shoots fairy fire at the T-Rex.
Okay, cool.
So the T-Rex makes a dex save. Wow. Okay.
I don't know what happened.
What's my spell save DC?
That's pretty. Like a pretty high roll.
Well, my spell save is 17. He rolled a 19. So
Jesus.
Whoa.
yay.
Don't T-Rexes have like 0 dex or something?
They have 0. Yes,
Jesus
they do.
Christ.
So he had to at least get a 17 or higher to dodge it.
Jesus.
And he did.
That is the most dexterous Tyrannosaurus Rex in history. He's over there doing like acrobatics and kung fu.
With that, Zack, being astonished, ends his turn. so it is the T-Rex's turn.
Oh my lord!
Where's Megan in all this?
It's
She's
on
after the T-Rex.
Okay.
So her and the T-Rex both rolled a 12, and then he won the additional roll.
Damn it.
Oh my god!
So, whoop.
Oh my god!
So he rushes in, and he uses a bite attack on Todd.
Oh,
my God.
good.
So first one will be a hey, good everybody. Good. Don't worry, he crit failed,
Okay.
so
Will
he
you
missed.
like, does he like trip and smack his head into the ground or something? They got those big old heads. And...
Tiny arms.
Yeah.
No, nothing happens. He just misses miserably.
Gets a bite of dirt.
But Todd just kind of dodges out of the way. But then, now with that, Zack does a Sentinel Strike attack since he attacked Todd. So he will try to, he'll get a 13, which hits. Yay.
Ooh, 13 hits. That's worse than 14. Okay.
And he does 14 slashing damage to the T-Rex.
That's not
So
worse than 14.
You can tell that while strong, he's very easy to hit.
Well, I mean, he is big, and it is just covered in
Yes.
skin, so...
As the hit lands on the T-Rex, his tail, however, starts swinging around and swings at Zack.
Oh my god.
And gets a 26 to hit, and so
Jeez.
it bashes into him, and it does 25 bludgeoning damage to Zack.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Alright.
Alright, Megan's turn.
Dowroc is infinitely more convinced not to get anywhere near it.
Wouldn't recommend getting next to the guy.
Here I am to do a
Megan
freaking rock wall.
Megan starts this way, banging her sword against her shield as she walks. But then as she moves about 10 feet, that is the wrong character sheet, god damn it. She suddenly starts to glow.
Oh,
She is surrounded by a gleaming, like, silvery white aura. And
do I notice, or do I do an inside check to see if it's the same type of aura that
Sure-
I
sure.
usually get surrounded by?
yeah, go for it.
I only got a 10. So,
Alright, you think it might be the same, but then you're not as sure when instead of like almost corrosive energy, she sprouts a pair of spectral wings from her back. And since we're still low level, I'm going to say she can't really go that high. But she is able to move the rest of her movement and fly right up to the T-Rex's head. And swing her sword.
Doc's like shaking his head. This
20
Trevor guy this wizard guy must be freaking
that hit.
25 to hit.
Hours to
And she is attacking with Booming Blade. So it will do
okay.
7 plus 2 damage. And then an additional 3 damage from her aura.
That's 12 total. Okay.
And that's her turn for now. But she's like
Hovering.
clearly trying. She's hovering and she's like trying her best to keep the thing's attention, even if she seems kind of loose in terms of her duties. Like she seems a little unofficial. Now that push has come to shove, she's definitely taking her job as like our protector seriously.
As the wings sprout from her back, Zack's like, "That's pretty cool."
I think we're all having a similar reaction at this point.
Be like, that'd be nice to have that ability.
the wizard gave it to her. No?
Alright, Dowroc's turn.
Dowroc. Dowroc is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh god, he has to move. 3, 4, 5, 6. He's. And so I started blasting.
Yep. That hit.
Nice.
And he's gonna
26 damage. Nice.
gonna command Igo to go over to Zack. Just so he got slaughtered.
Yeah. He took a good hit.
Yeah, I'd be genuinely surprised if both of Zack's arms are still in their sockets after a hit like that.
Yeah, Igo's gonna take a swing at it because he wants to see who's better, bear or lizard. That's 18
Good hit.
or 19. 5 damage, 5 force damage.
Okay.
And that's it.
Johan's turn.
Alright, Johan is also very impressed with Megan's wings. And, not entirely sure why, but he feels compelled to show off a little. Can't imagine why that would be. So he's going to...
Dowroc is impressed by how the light shine made her hair even more luscious.
Yeah, she's like, her aura is like reflecting off her armor and her hair and stuff, and her eyes even seem brighter. I'm going to spend a wild shape to summon Crispy.
Crispy.
Because, for... Like, even if I was still worried about that, like, who out here is that's associated with my old enemies is gonna...
Yeah.
What are the chances of Neotronosaurus Rex? Oh, it's very rare.
So...
Yeah.
So Crispy summons there.
Cutscene, you see a cloaked figure in the distance going, ooh, fire.
So, no, Crispy's gonna summon there. And then when he appears, the Tyrannosaurus has to make a DC 16 dexterity saving throw.
I don't know, he's pretty he's got pretty high dex. Oh, it was on 16 and then it rolled to 6. So, he failed it.
So he takes 7 fire damage.
Okay.
And then Crispy's gonna fly over here.
Just so you're aware, the T-Rex is already bloody.
Okay, good. Crispy's gonna fly over here and fiery teleport. Yeah. Us over here,
Okay.
which means the T-Rex makes another DC 16 dexterity saving throw.
Failed.
Alright. 6 fire damage.
Okay.
And then Todd is going to charge attack the T-Rex. This is a Pokemon battle, man. 21 to hit and for 11 damage. And since nonsensically perhaps, charge has literally no limit on the size of the creature it can affect, Todd tackles the T-Rex and knocks it prone.
Well, makes a strength saving throw.
Well,
right?
yes, if it fails, but I really hope it.
What's
that would be that'd be so
check?
goddamn funny. You know.
Is Todd gonna knock a T-Rex prone?
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Let's see. Depends on what the check is. I already rolled it, so let's see.
16 again.
As Todd rushes toward the T-Rex,
Yeah.
he head slams into him,
Yeah.
and the T-Rex falls prone.
Yes.
Oh
my.
By the way, the T-Rex has a +7 strength modifier, and he got a 15 total. So yes, the T-Rex fell prone.
Dear God.
Oh, my
So this is the most dexterous and physically weakest T-Rex in the world, apparently.
Someone did not raise that. What's that Pokemon name, John?
Oh God, what is his name?
Who?
The T-Rex.
Mine's
Oh.
mine's named Chomper. Tyrantrum.
Yeah, Tyrantrum.
Yeah.
It's not a very good race, Tyrantrum.
Yeah, they didn't allocate its stats very well.
They didn't EV train him right. All right. Well, with that, Zack gets to attack, and the T-Rex is prone, so that means I get advantage. So I will stab downward with a longsword with advantage. I will get a 27 to hit, which definitely hits. I'll do 10 damage, and then I'll do one more advantage longsword. 21, which also hits, which does 14 damage. And I'm going to attempt to try to reignite with Divine Smite on this one.
Oh, okay.
So I'm rolling a d20.
I don't like the way you
Roll
say. Oh, okay.
Yeah, what am I rolling?
Roll up with advantage.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll just roll 2 d20s and then just go from there. 9 was the highest I got. So 9.
So close. So close. You hear that in your head.
And you can just kind of see Zack kind of shake his head again. And then that's his turn. And you can see him kind of get a little upset with himself because he wasn't able to work. The T-Rex, however, doesn't care and stands back up.
Yeah.
And now the T-Rex decides to now try to bite Zack.
Deflecting.
16, he missed.
Yeah.
Thank God. But he then whips his tail up and tries to slap Megan with his tail.
No.
And he gets a 28 to hit.
Silvery barb.
Okay.
It's like, what are you doing with your little hands and your big head? You can't hit anything with that.
Well, re-rolls, and the tail misses Megan as she kind of dodges out of the way a little bit while she's flying.
You could tell she is definitely enjoying this.
And then that is the T-Rex turn, the Megan's turn, who, depending on what she does, could take down the T-Rex.
All right, you see,
Depending on what she does.
as she prepares to strike, she kind of holds her sword back in its ready position. She doesn't really sheath it, but she holds it at her side, and takes a second to like half a second to center herself, and then she attacks with advantage.
With advantage?
Yep, she has
That's
fighting.
over.
She has fighting spirit.
Ooh, okay.
She'll be plus. It's prone. Or did it get? Oh, it got up.
It stood up, yeah.
So it's +2 because of silvery barbs.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So advantage +2.
And that's.
I mean, it hit.
Yeah, that hits. Okay. So she attacks. Let's see.
Was this booming, or?
Well, yeah, she's gonna booming blade. Well, yeah, she's gonna booming blade. That's fine. 7, 10. So 16 damage total. 3 of which is radiant, and then she immediately surges forward again
Uh-oh.
and attacks a second time.
Can we tell? Can we tell the class that she is? Like, does she just seem like a fighter, or?
Right now, she seems
No,
like
something
she
different.
seems like she's using entirely like disciplined martial skills. So yeah, she would seem very fighterish at this point. Though she's
Okay.
not attacking as fast as a normal fighter would be. She's still like her strikes themselves are quick, but she doesn't attack as often. So,
Okay.
roll insight real quick.
Okay.
You can have just everybody do it.
14.
All right.
Not 20.
Johan and Zack do think it's a little odd. Wonder if maybe she's playing around a little bit. But Dowroc thinks that she might have split her training a little bit. She's just not really dipping into those other skills right now.
Okay.
Ain't letting the door.
So she attacks again, also with advantage, but I didn't roll with advantage because I'm stupid. So another hit for 6 damage.
Oh my gosh. My map errored. Hold on.
Isn't that
Oh,
great?
it worked anyway. Never mind. It vanished, right?
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay, yeah. I hit delete, and so when it deleted it, it said error, but it did delete it. I don't know, but whatever. Okay, so yeah, you took down a T-Rex. Congratulations.
Oh my god.
Megan lands over by Zack, and her wings and aura disappear, but she is going to cast Healing Hands on him to recover 6 HP. And
Zack
she's
will also Healing Hands himself.
and she says, you know what? You guys are a little more capable than I thought you were.
Dowroc, like, runs up expiration.
And come up and like start kicking the corpse.
Dowroc is just like, what the? He says in Dwarven, what the fuck is that?
I'll say they didn't have wings, so I'm gonna guess that wasn't a dragon. But
Definitely.
if that's one of those things put here for the dragons to eat, I don't think I'd want to bump into a dragon.
Agreed.
Dowroc's gonna take a tooth.
Okay.
I'm gonna toss Todd a treat for knocking over a frickin' T-Rex.
See, there was Todd's moment of when he rammed into him like in the first game. Alright, so as of that, you guys kind of are in a clearing at the moment, and Megan, well, I would assume, because how much time would it take to get to, how long of a travel would this be through the country? Megan would know.
How far do you want the spire to be in to the valley?
So I'd like it to be about 3/4 of the way to Wizard Town.
Okay, so
We're fairly close, but not right next to it or anything.
yeah, so kind of about as far in as Skystone then ish. So I mean Skystone takes probably 2 days to get to, so it'd take us probably 2 days to get there too.
Okay. So, as you guys continue traveling, I guess at this time you can do whatever kind of conversations you want as you're traveling the rest of this way, kind of taking shifts. You benefit from any kind of long rest that you need, if you need any, as you're traveling.
All right, I'll carry on a little conversation with Megan. Like, I don't need to get specific with the dialogue, but like, I basically just say, I kind of expected you not to take this job all that seriously. I guess I was wrong, and I apologize. And she's, she's heard it before, so she doesn't really care.
Dowroc says, you fight like my mom?
I assume that's a compliment?
Yeah.
Um,
You fight like my sister. I fought your sister. That's a compliment.
it's just like, she's slow, methodical, but when you make her, I've seen your fighting style before. You're slow, methodical, and I have a feeling there's something extra.
Yeah, I didn't quite have to cut loose against that thing. She will turn to Zack and ask, so is that the power you were talking about?
Kind of responds, well, I mean, it's similar. Mine's kind of like that, but I unfortunately don't get access to any wings, so that's definitely a plus in your favor.
She she kind of gives you like a little half smile, and she's like, and yeah, the wings are handy, but yeah, I do have to be a little careful. Not everyone takes to a human that displays odd traits like that.
Agreed.
Winged humans are you don't see that, and it's got people. Sometimes when people see me do that, they think I'm either an angel or a demon, and I don't like to be thought of either one of those things.
No, I understand the feeling. That's why, really, when I was in my hometown, I didn't really display or use much of it. But granted, I also couldn't really control it for the longest time, and I still am getting used to it, as you could kind of tell in that fight. I mean, I didn't utilize all of it, but the little extra that I seem to have gotten from it, I still haven't gotten good enough to actually hit anything yet with it, so I'm still getting there.
Johan will point out that I think we've all got a little bit of that kind of power that we're not anxious to show to others. And I point to Crispy, who's sitting in my head, and I'm like, this thing, I don't summon it in front of just anybody.
Don't have any of those powers.
Yeah, but you can make a bunch of cool stuff. And Zack will kind of look at him and he'll be like, well...
I kind of whispered on. It's like, I think the wizard is making angels.
Zack will look at Dowroc, though, once he says, I don't have any of those powers. He'll be like, I mean, honestly, it might be better because it's kind of like a gift and a curse all in one.
And Johan says, besides, if you ever need a weird power, you'll just make one.
I'll try to make wings, I guess.
I'm sure you could make something up.
Maybe put some on a pair of boots.
Yeah, there you go. Create some wing boots.
Wing boots.
Idea. Dowroc, don't touch my armor.
How powerful do I have to make the wings to be able to lift a human body?
Hmm.
You start writing stuff down in your notebook. As you continue kind of walking and kind of, getting more used to each other and kind of liking each other's company, you start approaching like a little hill, and you kind of make your way over that hill, and you see in the distance...
Ooh. Spoopy.
A tower.
Aspire even. Well, let me get my Slay the Spire God mode out here and see the thing.
See, there you go.
I will say, as we're traveling and we're doing like our second day of travel or whatever, you could tell Johan's a little more open to chatting with Megan, and they make small talk and stuff. The rest of you kind of get the sense that he wasn't really sure what to think of her. But seeing her just, leap into trying to draw the attention of the monster, kind of changed his mind about her a little bit.
Zack's going to lean over to Dowroc and be like, they seem to be getting along quite fine now.
And Dowroc lean at you and saying, you were getting along quite fine with me.
Well, we had this weird connection. They seem to be thoroughly enjoying each other.
Sometimes it takes a good connection,
All right. So, is there anything of interest between us and this tower?
There is not anything of interest between you and the tower.
How far off are we? Are we like a good sprint away, or what?
Yeah, like a good little sprint. You're not far.
Crispy would not.
So
Oh, good. Thank you, Map. Thank you for dying again. Really appreciate it.
This is the fourth.
Crispy wouldn't be with us anymore at this point either.
Is this the fourth day?
This is this is 2 days, so you still got 2 more days of the Seeing Stone, or the Ascending Stone.
Okay.
So you can still, send messages.
And Mr. Brim. It's like I saw this giant lizard. It had a big mouth but small hands.
I'll
As you see the tower, Zack kind of grips like his sword and he says it's time to end this. And then boom, that's today's adventure.
okay.
Megan's
I try
What?
to go a little longer today and probably next week too to try to, help.
Megan's like, and Megan's like, and what?
Yeah. And what? And then it cuts to black.
What we
like,
gotta do? We gotta see the straight line scene. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. The anime,
what?
straight line scene before, as they're coming up.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, there you go. And the camera like zooms in on him and turns around and then shows the spire as it slowly backs away.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. And as, I guess one last thing that you'll see is as you see it, you do notice a light kind of at the very tip, which you can't really see, but you see a light up there. And it's a red and black light.
Oh,
Great.
boy.
That's great. Definitely
And then
haven't
that's
seen
where
anything like
today's
that
adventure-
before.
That's where today's adventure ends. So,
Okay.